You may remember from the last show that I was experimenting with high-res versions of the smartphone show. It's proven to be a great success. The VGA version is now fully up and running via RSS. You can just click on the appropriate VGA RSS feed in your feed readers such as iTunes and you'll be off and running. If you click through to the high-res YouTube version, the picture size doesn't actually change, but the quality certainly will. YouTube have now firmly cottoned on to higher bit rate, higher resolution videos running in the background. So there we are, two different high-res versions to choose from for the smartphone show. Do make sure you use it and you'll see me in best detail, warts and all. You might have gathered that having a really good camera in my phone is pretty important. After all, you can compromise in some other areas, say the web browser's not quite as good on one device, or music's not quite as loud, or the screen's a bit smaller, but photos involve capturing a moment. And when that moment's gone, all you've got left is the photo. So if you compromised in your phone's camera, then you'll have an unsatisfactory photo that you can do nothing about forever. So I've obtained the 4 top camera phones in the world and I've put them to the test here, head to head. There's the venerable Nokia N95 smartphone, the newer N82, plus top 5 megapixel feature phones, the Sony Ericsson K850i and the LG Viewty. Test photo 1, a self-portrait, outdoors in sunlight, the archetypal photo of someone from your life perhaps, in optimum conditions. Colours. The N82 and K850 produce slightly washed out results, 6 points each. The N95 arguably the most accurate colours, and the Viewty was, if anything, oversaturated, although no one's going to complain about the gorgeous colours that result. 9 points each to the latter two. Detail. Zooming into my glasses, eyes and eyebrows, we can see how the optics and sensors capture the intricate detail in the centre of their viewfinder. Now I have a problem here. The two Nokia smartphones show more actual detail but don't handle extremes of light and dark detail as well, while the K850 and Viewty are better pitched in contrast but their images aren't quite as sharp, so 8 points all round. Test photo 2, an indoor portrait. Okay, it's my daughter's teddy. Daylight outside but no direct sunlight on the subject and no flash allowed here. Colours. None of the photos really get close to the real colour of the teddy's fur, disappointingly, which actually has a very slight orange tint. The N95 gets closest though, so 9 points. The N82 gets 8, while the last two are just far too pale. The K850 gets 6 points and the Viewty 5. In terms of detail, zooming into the teddy's left eye, amazingly, in the N95's photo you can even make out an accurate reflection of the window in the room, 10 points here. The K850 is some way behind with 8 points. The N82 has the fur a bit mushed out at 7 points, and the Viewty's image looks very unattractive close up, so 5 points. Test photo 3, an evening photo indoors, flash essential. Colours, perfect lighting and colours here for the Nokia N82, so 10 points. Good colours too for the N95, but it's too dim because of the LED flash rather than xenon, so only 7 points. The K850 and Viewty both had xenon flashes as well, but the K850's photo was duller than it should have been, winning 8 points, while the Viewty disappointed hugely here, with a pale and an uninspiring photo of poor contrast, only 5 points. Detail, zooming into a book title, revealed that again the N82 is top dog with 9 points. The K850's text was reasonably crisp, I'll give it 7, the N95 on 6, and the Viewty again disappointing in terms of detail on 5 points. Put it all together and I end up with grand totals of, in 4th place with lovely colours and good light but disappointing performance in other real-world conditions, wasting the much-hyped Schneider-Kraussnack optics, the LG Viewty with 37 points out of 60. In 3rd place with good all-round performance without really excelling, the Sony Ericsson K850i with 43 out of 60. In 2nd place just the currently award-winning Nokia N82 with 48 points out of 60, but just pepping it to the post, the 18-month-old and still superlative Nokia N95 is still the best smartphone in the world, here in its classic version with the protected lens glass, of course. The N95 is now mature, has seen numerous firmware upgrades, and it's also now extremely affordable, and here it scored 49 points out of 60. And a side rant to phone designers. Both the Viewty and the K850 had scratchable and potentially dirty plastic over their camera lenses. If you're going to stick a 5 megapixel camera in a device and give it professional optics, what is the point in sticking some low grade and usually grease smeared plastic over the top? Another show, yet another exclusive. This time it's from the Windows Mobile camp and it's the Ultimate9502. Big and black and metal. It reminds me an awful lot of the Nokia E90 in terms of its purpose and its feel in the hand. It's also got a spec to die for. with a HSDPA, Wi-Fi, built-in GPS, a 3 megapixel camera and high-res screen, in this case VGA, although Windows Mobile is still appallingly clunky at how it handles non-QVGA screens. Yes, the fonts are smoother, but nothing's really much better here on the standard sized 2.8-inch screen. Even photos don't display full screen properly, although you can notice the greater detail. The basics of Windows Mobile 6 are very well known, so let's move on to the 9502's main selling point, the slide-out QWERTY keyboard. The mechanism's smooth, although the processor often takes several seconds to adjust the display's orientation to suit. The idea of revealing a keyboard is a good one, as countless HTC devices have shown, but the offering here is minuscule, measuring only 5.5 centimeters from mid-Q to mid-P, unaccountably only using about 80% of the width of the reveal section. In practice, the keys are just too tiny to get much typing done, however perfectly formed each key is. The quirky hardware design continues on the front of the 9502. There's nothing wrong with the function keys, the Windows key, OK, messaging and internet, all of which work well, but the D-pad here is the most appallingly cheap button assembly I've seen in years. It's ultra plastically, overly clicky and feels like it's going to give way and break within minutes. A real letdown considering the metal construction elsewhere. Around the side are myriad other shortcut keys, a wireless manager to a second OK key, on-off, volume up and down, voice control, although strangely the screen has to be turned on manually before this will activate. You'd have expected a long press on this, perhaps while driving, to wake the device. Anyway, and finally the camera. Ah yes, the camera. Quite why the cameras in Windows mobile devices continue to be subpar is beyond me. Here's a photo taken just now by the Nokia N90, also 3 megapixels. Here's the 9502's attempt. Look how poor and badly coloured the photo is. Quite staggeringly bad. Video is at a maximum of 352 by 288 pixels, but clips are spoilt by horrible pixelation in the first few seconds, and the soundtrack has heavy compression resulting in unpleasant warbling. Still, I'm being a bit picky, since you're not going to buy the Ultimate 9502 for its multimedia functions. You're going to buy it for the full Office mobile suite with keyboard available when needed. For the high resolution browsing, it's not pretty yet under Pocket Internet Explorer, but I made it pretty good with firmware updates, and hopefully Windows Mobile 7 will improve things. You'll want it for navigation work. The 9502 doesn't come with any nav software, but Google Maps work just fine with the built-in GPS, which seems pretty sensitive, and of course for vertical applications, specifically company Windows mobile apps. Plus there are numerous enterprise configurators and quote customizations, all stub apps here, but presumably of real use in a corporate environment. Under the hood there's a huge 1660 mAh battery, which should keep things buzzing along for a couple of days, plus the obligatory micro SD card slot. Other bonuses include iMate's IQ system for securely managing your data and configuring devices over the air, plus an unexpected bonus, TV out, which the Nokia N90 doesn't have, so that you can view your emails, pictures, videos on a TV screen, and also drive a projector for viewing your presentations. Pretty cool. A truckload of downsides then, perhaps balanced by a similar stack of upsides, but only for real power users, or those in companies prepared to go the extra mile to set things up for specific power tasks. The Ultimate 9502 from iMate.